Hey girl, welcome to my channel. My name is Crystal and this is Makeup by Crystal G. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to achieve the perfect, glowy, easy, soft glam. If you want to learn how I achieved this look, keep on watching because I'm about to show you how to do it step by step. I already did my eyebrows off camera just to save a little bit of time. I used the Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil. This is in the shade medium brown. And then I went over top with the ColourPop brow gel in clear. I already have my skincare routine done. My face is washed and moisturized. For primer, I'm going in with my Refi primer. This primer is really good if you have dry skin too. I find it to be very hydrating and it makes my skin look very glowy. For a little bit of stickiness and grip, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Power Grip Setting Spray. I have a couple little blemishes that I want to conceal, so I'm gonna go in with my Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. Excuse my nails, I do have to book a nail appointment ASAP, but I just haven't had the chance to, guys. You know how it is. Since we're doing a soft glam today, I really want that nice radiant finish, that natural skin-like glow. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Halo Glow in 0.5 Fair, and I'm gonna put this underneath my foundation, so I don't want to use too much, and I'm going to be very intentional about where I'm placing this. I kind of just want to focus it on the areas in which the sun will hit my face, so just on the highest points. Using my e.l.f. Duo Complexion brush, I'm just going to blend that in. I'm just going to keep it where I placed it. I'm not going to go crazy blending it all over my face as I sometimes would. I really love this product from e.l.f. I think it's like one of the best products they've come out with, to be honest, other than their lip oils, but I really love it. For foundation, I want to go with a medium to full coverage foundation just to cover up any redness on my skin. So I think the best one to use today would be the Milani Perfect and Conceal 2-in-1 foundation. And this one is in the shade Nude Chair 00BB. And I'm just gonna put one pump of this on the back of my hand. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Duo Complexion, and I'm just gonna start buffing this into my skin, starting from the center and moving my way outwards. And look at the difference already. Recently, I was looking for a good foundation and I stumbled upon this one for a second time, and I was like, wait a second. I used to use this, maybe I should give it a whirl. And then I rediscovered it and I was like, wait, I really, really like this foundation. I'm gonna take just a little bit more, not even a full pump, but just like that much, so that I could just cover up a little bit more. What I really love about this Milani foundation is that it's so buildable. For my bronzer, I'm gonna use the Curve Case by Makeup by Mitchell, and I'm gonna go in with this shade right here from their light medium palette. This is in the shade Hollow There. And using that same foundation brush, I'm just gonna go like this on the back of my hand just to take out any excess. I'm just gonna start blending that in. Don't be afraid if it looks a little bit crazy at first. You just gotta keep on blending. The Curve Case from Makeup by Mitchell is so creamy, it's so blendable, and it's such a beautiful shade. I love his shade range. I actually met Mitchell at BeautyCon in LA, and he was the nicest person ever. We actually have, this is kind of a light flex, but we actually have a little picture of us together on his Instagram page. I can't help but be excited about that. I know it looks a little bit unblended right now, but just bear with me. For blush, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Liquid Camo Blush in Dusty Rose. And these are very pigmented, so just use caution. I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose, and then we're gonna blend. Over top that blush, I'm going in with the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush in Happy. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of that here. I like to just put this one on just to kind of layer my blushes. I just find that it helps everything blend together very nicely when I kind of stack my blushes a little bit. I'm also going to put some of that Hollow There shade into my crease, and I'm gonna just connect it to my nose like that. And this is just gonna help keep everything very cohesive. Trust the process, ladies. I feel like I look insane, but you have to just like trust that I'm like not gonna make you look crazy, okay? This is like a trust exercise. I'm gonna go back in with my Hourglass concealer, and this is in the shade Sepia. And I am just gonna now start cleaning up this contour or bronzer. Bronzer is technically very warm tone, whereas contour is very cool tone. I have a second duo complexion brush from e.l.f. that is clean, so I'm just gonna start blending out my concealer. And I'm gonna leave the eyes for last. So just go ahead and blend that in. I'm gonna start blending out the concealer that's under my eyes, and I'm going to use my Zoeva 145 concealer brush to do so. I'm going to start blending from this outer edge, going upwards towards my eyebrow, if that makes sense. Do you see how it's creating that like lifted effect right there? That's exactly what you want if you want to achieve that snatched look. So you can already see how cleaned up this portion of my face looks compared to how it did without the concealer. It kind of just looked like a big blob of bronzer. The lips are giving Dave Chappelle. I already set this side of my face, so I'm gonna show you how I set this side. For setting powder, I'm using my Bake and Set by Morphe. This is in the pink shade, and I'm gonna go in with a little triangle powder puff. I'm gonna dip into the cap, dust off the excess, and then on the back of my hand, go like this, whatever this is. I don't even know what to call it, girls. I don't know what to call it. Before I go under my eye with this though, make sure that your concealer is completely blended out and that it doesn't look like it's settling into your fine lines. And when you're doing this, do not look upwards. If you look up and you blend in that concealer, once you look back down or you're looking straight ahead again, you're gonna see all that creasing again. So make sure that you are looking directly into your mirror, very lightly tapping that concealer, then going in with your powder puff. Start off a little bit low and then make your way up. And look how smooth my skin looks. A good step after this would be to take a pressed powder and then bake under your eyes. Unfortunately, I don't have a pressed powder right now, but if you do have one, that would automatically make your skin look even more smooth and make your concealer last even longer. I want the rest of my T-zone area to look very bright and highlighted. So I am just going to go ahead and bake a little bit on my forehead, on my chin, and even down my nose. I'm gonna clean up this nose contour. While that's doing its thing, I'm gonna go in with my Kylie Cosmetics Powder Foundation to set the rest of my face and also to increase some of the coverage. Go under my bronzer, a little bit on my forehead, dust off that bake from my chin. Going in with my Benefit Hoola Light Bronzer, I'm just gonna go and set that cream bronzer that I placed before. I feel like Hoola bronzers are such like an OG product. Like I remember my first Hoola bronzer, I didn't get light. I don't think light even existed yet, but I looked like an Oompa Loompa, y'all, because that bronzer was way too orange for me. I'm gonna just put a little bit of that bronzer down my, what is this called? My like throat. And I like looking really bronzed, so I'm pretty generous with this step. I don't like looking all, I don't like when my lips look all white and crusty. Like for powder blush, I'm going in with the Joa Air Light Blush. This is in the shade Cool Magnolia. This is just like a nice light, like peachy shade. And I just love to use this as a way to like introduce and marry my other blush that I'm gonna use that's a little bit more pink. I will say Joa has some really nice blushes. If you haven't tried them, give them a whirl. I guess this is kind of like my transition blush. Let's go in with some Patrick Ta. This is She's a Doll, and I'm just going in with the powder. And I'm not gonna go too crazy because this stuff is pigmented as heck. I'm just gonna put that right on my cheekbone. So I just kind of stamp it in first where I want it to lay, and then I feather it out. Very, very lightly. The farther away from the bristles that you hold your brush, the lighter of an application you're gonna get. And then a little trick I like to do is grab whatever powder is left on my puff and just go in like this. I just find that this helps create that airbrushed effect. I'm gonna dust off this bake that I have in my nose. For eyes, I'm gonna go back in with my Hula Light and a big fluffy brush. And I like to kind of feather in this bronzer into my front of my brows. I want to define my crease just a little bit, so I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. little quad palette. This is in Truffles, and I'm just gonna go in with this shade right here. It's like a shade up from my bronzer, and I'm just gonna deepen up my outer corner and my crease. I'm gonna grab a little bit more of this shade from the e.l.f. palette. And let's do that on, let's put that on the other eye now. And then whatever you do on the top, you're gonna do it on the bottom. Using a little detailed brush like this, I'm gonna go in with my bronzer, connecting my top shadow with my bottom shadow. And then I'm gonna go in to the e.l.f. palette that I was just using and repeat the same step. This is just going to pull the whole eye look together. Now this darker shade, I'm only going to put it on the outer part of my lower lash line. I want to brighten up the inner portion of my eye. So I'm actually going to go in with this 18 CT Matte Essentials palette from Morphe. And I'm going to use this shade right here. It's like a nice cream colored shade. And I am just going to pat that in, bringing that shadow, creating kind of like a faux cut crease. Doing this little trick right here is just gonna really help make your nose contour look even more snatched. Going back in with that big fluffy brush that I originally used to apply my bronzer, I'm just going to go in and just blend out any harshness, and that just really makes your eyes pop. I want to add a little bit of shimmer to this, so I'm going to be a little bit risky, and I'm going to add a little pop of this new highlighter that I bought from Wet n Wild the other day. This is their Chameleon Chrome highlighter, and it has these little specks of green glitter. It's just so pretty. I'm going to just add a little bit of this. It just makes the look a little bit more fun, but you can totally stop at cream colored shadow. But I just think this makes the look a little bit more interesting. I'm gonna use the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen to add a little bit of eyeliner to my eyes. I know it's a brow pen, but hey, it's free will, honey. Use it how you please. This is in the shade Espresso. So I went ahead and did some winged eyeliner off camera. I'm gonna go back into this e.l.f. eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna just go a little bit into this darker brown shade. I really like having a nice smoked out under eye. And the brush I'm using is the 320 Smoky Liner Brush by Zoeva. I wanna melt all these powders into my skin, so I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Mist and Set. I'm gonna go ahead and do mascara and lashes off camera. I'm gonna go in with the Sky High mascara from Maybelline, and this one is in the shade True Brown. And for lashes, I'm gonna go in with the Ardell Naked Lashes. Just put on my lashes and my mascara. I'm not a huge fan of these lashes, but it's the only ones I have, so it's what we're gonna work with for now. I'm gonna put on some highlight now. I'm gonna go in with Rare Beauty highlight. This is in the shade Exhilarate. I highlight my Cupid's bow, my nose. Oh, and off camera, I did put a little bronzer on my nose, just a little bit, because I forgot to do it before. This is a very pigmented highlighter, so exercise caution because it could get glowy real quick. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of highlight on my brow bone. I just love a good 2016 inner corner highlight moment. And I'm gonna just bring it up so that it meets with that Wet n Wild highlight that I put on my lids. Moving on to the lips, I'm going to go for like a nice like pinky nude. That's just like my signature go-to. So I'm gonna use this Essence 8-Hour Comfort Lip Liner. And this is in the shade Rosy Nude. And I do like to slightly overline my top lip because it is a little thin. Look how beautiful this lip liner is. I literally love it so much. I'm gonna top it off with this e.l.f. lip oil in Rose Envy, and watch how it just ties the lip together. It's such a beautiful shade. That's beautiful, but I wanna add a little bit more of an extra touch just to kind of match the glitter going on in my eyes. I'm gonna go in with this other lip oil by e.l.f. This is candy coated, and it has this like beautiful shimmer to it that I really, really love. So I'm just gonna top that on top of my Rose Envy in the center of my lip. This looks so freaking good. And one last thing that I want to point out that I forgot to film is that I did tightline my upper and lower lash line using this brown kohl pencil right here. This is from Wet n Wild, and this is in the shade, what shade is this? Simma Brown Now. And then I like to go in with one last spritz of my e.l.f. Mist and Set. All right, guys, this is the finished look. I'm really happy with how this soft glam turned out. I think it's absolutely stunning. I love how glowy it is. I love that my face still looks like airbrushed, but I don't look cakey. I don't look powdery. I just look like skin. I totally forgot to finish filming my outro, but if you like this look and you feel like you learned something from this video, leave a comment down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.